Kicked out at 17 with nothing now. My family wants my $750,000 home. I never thought I'd be kicked out of my own home at 17, with nothing but $12 in a trash bag. But that's exactly how my family left me. And now, after years of silence, lies, and betrayal, they want to live in the house I built. The house worth $750,000. My house. This is the story of how being the spare child nearly destroyed me, until I turned that title into my greatest weapon. But it all started with 5 words from my father that burned themselves into my memory. You're the spare. That's what my dad told me. Not in anger, not in frustration, just calmly. Like he was handing me my place in life. My brother Nathan? He was the heir, the golden child, the star. Me? Just extra. Nathan's bedroom faced the lake. He got a brand new car the day he turned 16. Dad called him champ, even when he failed. Meanwhile, I got the broken hand-me-downs, suspicious glares, and endless lectures about how I wasn't good enough. I thought maybe the problem was me, so I worked harder. I got a job at 15, kept my grades solid, even tutored Nathan in math when he started slipping. But instead of respect, all I got was more criticism. My mom called me lazy if I dared to sleep in after working late shifts at the diner. My dad laughed at me when I said I wanted culinary school. And Nathan? He just smirked while they tore me apart. But nothing prepared me for the night everything collapsed, the night I stopped being their child and became their scapegoat. It was the summer before my senior year. Nathan got drunk at a party and wrecked his car. He stumbled home, bleeding, terrified. I found him in the garage, sobbing, begging me not to tell Mom and Dad. And I didn't. I covered for him. I lied. I told them I was the one who'd taken the car and crashed it. I thought, maybe this would finally prove I was loyal, that I was worth something, that I could protect the family. Instead, my dad didn't even yell. He just pointed to the door. Pack your things. You've embarrassed this family enough. That night, I slept in a bus shelter. By morning, they dumped my belongings into a trash bag and left a note. You're on your own now. Learn something from this. They didn't check on me. Not once. At church, my mom told people I'd chosen the streets because I was rebellious. Nathan? He was posting beach selfies 2 weeks later, like I didn't even exist. For years, I survived in silence. Double shifts at a convenience store, sleeping on cardboard in the stockroom when the manager wasn't around, birthdays alone, Christmases forgotten. It was like I had been erased from their family tree. But 3 years later, a single billboard changed everything. 3 years later, everything changed with one billboard. It wasn't huge, just a local Chamber of Commerce ad. My face, my name, young entrepreneur spotlight. I'd built a marketing business from nothing. Library Wi-Fi, thrift store laptops, sleepless nights. And it worked. Shops were tripling their sales. For the first time in my life, I felt like more than a shadow. That's when my phone lit up. First my mom, then my dad, then relatives I hadn't heard from in years. Suddenly I was so talented. Suddenly they wanted to catch up. But I knew. They hadn't changed. They didn't miss me. They missed what I had. And I was right. The next voicemail from my mom wasn't about me. It was about Nathan. They're going through a rough patch, she said. He and Alyssa might lose their place. We were wondering if you still had that spare room you used to mention. A spare room. I laughed out loud. Not only did I have a spare room, I had the entire house, a $750,000 house, paid for in cash. But I didn't call her back. But when my aunt messaged me on Facebook telling me to step up for the family, not when cousins tried to guilt trip me, I stayed silent. Until the day I came home and saw it. She stood when I got out of the car. Oh my God, you look so good, she said, arms already reaching. But I didn't hug her. I just stared. Why are you here, Mom? Her smile flickered. She shifted. Nathan and Alyssa lost their apartment. The baby's on the way. We thought maybe we could all stay here, just for a little while. I almost laughed in her face. You kicked me out with a trash bag and a note. And now you want me to give up my peace? For him? She blinked, stunned, then whispered, it was complicated back then. We were just doing what we thought was right. No, my voice was steady. You were doing what was easiest. For the first time in my life, I saw something in her eyes I'd never seen before. Not love, not regret, just shame. And then, defensiveness. Well, you've clearly done well for yourself. Maybe it wasn't such a bad thing after all. That was it. That was the moment. They wanted credit for abandoning me. You're not coming inside, I said. Tell Dad. Tell Nathan. Tell everyone. This house doesn't have a spare room. She gasped. You're being selfish. I smiled. No, Mom. I'm just done being useful to people who only remember me when they need something. Then I closed the door. But I wasn't done. Because the truth? The family didn't know half of what really happened. And I was about to tell them everything. That night I couldn't sleep. Not because I felt guilty, but because I was furious. Furious that they thought they could just show up and rewrite history. So I did something I'd never done before. I told the truth. I wrote a message to the entire extended family. Cousins, aunts, uncles. The ones who thought I was rebellious, troubled, dangerous. I told them everything. The car crash, the fake confession, the trash bag on the porch, the years of silence, even the banana bread visit. And then, I attached proof, screenshots, the text, Nom, then once sent bragging about how easy it was to get rid of me. I hit send. And for the first time in years, I wasn't afraid. The group chat exploded. Is this real? I never knew. Your parents said you ran away, that you were on drugs. I always wondered why you disappeared. I'm so sorry. One by one, the lies fell apart. And then came the last message I expected. Alyssa, my brother's wife. She told me she had no idea. Nathan told her I was violent, that I attacked my mom, that my grandmother took me in after I snapped. She said my message snapped her awake. She packed a bag that night, 7 months pregnant, and left him for good. I didn't gloat. I just said, you did the right thing. But Nathan never did like being exposed, and soon, he came looking for me. 3 days later, I walked out of my favorite coffee shop and heard my name, Nathan. He looked like a ghost of himself, same varsity jacket from high school, unshaven, reeking of cheap beer. You think you're better than me now? He sneered. I didn't answer. He stepped closer, too close. You always played the victim. Even now. What, you want everyone to feel sorry for you? You think anyone cares about your sob story? I could feel my heart pounding, but I stayed calm. You lied. He laughed, sharp and bitter. So what? You survived, didn't you? You've got your house, your little billboard, so quit crying. There was so much I wanted to scream. Every night I cried myself to sleep, every birthday alone, every holiday erased, but I didn't give him that satisfaction. I just stepped past him, opened my car door and said, you lied, I thrived, and now you have to live with that, and I drove away. But the story wasn't done, because someone else, the only person who ever believed me, was about to leave me with one final truth. A week later, my dad showed up on my porch. Not angry, not smug, just hollow. Ow. He handed me an envelope. Your grandmother wanted you to have the house, he muttered. His voice cracked. She's sick, stage 4 cancer. My chest tightened. This wasn't about them anymore. At the bottom was a deed, signed, stamped, making me her sole heir. She had rewritten our legacy. The funeral was small, private, but of course, they came anyway. My mother in black, Nathan lingering behind her, waiting to see if it was true. After the prayers, she approached. Is it true? She asked. Did she leave it all to you? I looked her in the eyes and said the one word she never gave me. Yes. That night, they left a letter on my doorstep, a formal request to live in the house, to heal and transition. I wrote back. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Turner, at this time, all rooms are fully occupied by peace, dignity, and the long overdue scent of lavender. We cannot accommodate guests who abandoned those values years ago. I posted it online. It went viral. Not for revenge, just for truth. Because there are so many of us. So many spares. People who weren't supposed to survive. But we did. Today, I walked through my grandmother's garden and planted a single white rosebush. Rebirth, just like I promised her. And as I pressed the soil down, I realized something. I'm not a spare. I'm the seed that survived. What would you do if your family showed up after years of betrayal? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more true stories.